You just got back from vacation. You're tanned. You're rested. You unpacked your suitcase like a functional adult.
And by Wednesday, you're more exhausted than before you left. Not tired. Not I need another coffee tired. Burnt out. And if you think that's just you being dramatic, it's not. This is measurable. Researchers can actually track this in your blood work. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Vacation was never going to fix this. In the next 9 minutes, I'm going to break down the 4 real reasons your brain treats rest like a debt, not a reward. And reason number 4 is the one almost nobody talks about. It's the one quietly running your entire life without you noticing. Let's get into it. First, let's kill a myth. Burnout isn't tiredness. That's the first thing you need to get in your head. Tiredness goes away with sleep. Burnout doesn't. Burnout is what happens when the output of your life has been bigger than the input for way too long. Months of it, sometimes years. And the week at the beach, that's one input. One. It's like trying to pay off a maxed out credit card with a $5 bill. Feels good for a second. Changes nothing on the actual balance. Reason 1. You didn't actually rest. You just changed location. Be honest. Did you check Slack just once by the pool? Did you quickly reply to that one email in bed at the resort? Did you keep your phone face up on the towel, just in case? Your body left the office. Your nervous system never did. Studies on stress recovery show something wild. Your cortisol levels don't reset just because your environment changes. They reset when your nervous system believes it's safe to fully stop being on. And here's the part that stings a little. Your brain doesn't care that you're technically on a beach. It only cares whether it's still scanning for threats, emails, messages, that one coworker who just has a quick question. If you're checking your phone every hour, your body is still bracing. It never got the memo that it's allowed to relax. Reason 2. You went from one kind of stimulation to another. Vacation isn't rest. Vacation is a different flavor of busy. You're planning routes. You're making reservations. You're doing the thing where you cram 6 museums into 2 days because you paid for the flight and you're gonna make it worth it. That's not rest. That's a second job with better lighting and worse Wi-Fi. Real recovery needs boredom. Actual, uncomfortable, staring at the ceiling boredom. The kind where your brain has nothing to latch onto and starts to actually process everything it's been holding onto for months. Most of us are terrified of that kind of stillness, so we fill vacation the same way we fill our work week, just with a nicer backdrop and better lighting for the photos. Reason 3. The comparison trap. This one's sneaky, so stay with me. You come home and quietly compare your actual, average, slightly boring daily life to the highlight reel version of yourself you were for 7 days. Best meals, best light, best mood, 0 responsibilities. Of course, regular life feels worse in comparison. You're not comparing today to last month. You're comparing today to the best edited week of your entire year. That gap between vacation you and Tuesday you isn't a sign something's wrong with your life. It's just math. You compared reality to a highlight reel, and reality lost. It was always going to lose. And now, reason number 4, the one I promised you. This is the one that actually explains why you can feel amazing for 2 days after a trip, and then crash completely. It's called the rebound effect. When you finally relax, even a little, your body realizes just how depleted it actually was. It's like sitting down after standing for 12 hours straight. The second you stop, your legs remind you exactly how much you were ignoring the whole time. Vacation loosens the rubber band just enough for your body to go, "Oh, we are not okay." And then it hits you all at once. Right when you're supposed to be back at 100%, sitting in a meeting, pretending you feel refreshed. That's why burnout often feels worse right after a trip than it did before you left. It's not new exhaustion. It's old exhaustion finally getting heard all at once, with terrible timing. So what actually works? Not a bigger vacation. Not a longer one. I know that's not what you want to hear, but it's the truth. What actually works is small, boring, repeated recovery. 15 minutes a day where you do genuinely nothing. No phone, no podcast teaching you something new, no productive rest. Just nothing. Recovery isn't an event you book and fly to. It's a habit you have to keep making deposits into, over and over, long after the trip is over. And if you're heading into a vacation soon, here's the actual fix. Not a bigger itinerary, but a smaller one. Build in dead time on purpose. Leave your out of office on for 2 extra days after you're actually back, before you're expected to perform at full capacity. Tell your brain, in advance, that it's genuinely safe to stop scanning. Because here's the real takeaway. One trip was never going to undo months or years of running on empty. That's not pessimism. That's just how your nervous system actually works. Burnout was never one bad day. It was 100 small ones, stacked up quietly, one after another, until your body finally forced you to notice. If any part of this hit a little too close to home, you're not broken, and you're definitely not alone in this. This is way more common than people admit out loud. I'm making more videos on this exact stuff, how to actually recover, how to improve life, not just escape for a week and come back to the same pile you left behind. If that sounds useful, stick around. No pressure. I'll be here either way.